Hello, hello. Sorry, I'm last episode. Still don't know how to use this box. I don't know how to use it. Welcome to Live from the Kingdom. My name is Paul Inman. Here on Live from the Kingdom, you get some behind the scenes stories, sneak peeks, insights into Keys to the Kingdom anthology, the world of dollar babies, and more. Welcome. I hope you're having a fantastic evening. It's time to bring in my friend and yours, the caffeine driven Billy Hanson. Come on up, Billy. Join me. How you doing?
I'm good. Caffeine driven is probably the most accurate nickname that I've gotten so far, the accurate description so far. That is very reasonable. Yes.
Very reasonable. Happy June 11th, as a matter of fact. How are you doing? How was your
Yeah.
day today? I hear it was a little bit crazy. Pre-show, we were talking.
Hectic. Yeah. Hectic. It was great. It's the school graduation season. So both
Oh yeah.
kids are graduating this week. So they all have their last in-class activities that we have to be there for, what we don't know about until about 30 minutes beforehand. So we have to scramble.
Oh
But
yeah. And
again, it's fantastic and it's great.
so today was talent show day, and you surprised me with the talent. Um, I was like, whoa, because I was expecting one thing, and you took a hard right. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. No, my older boy is very musically talented. So he busted out his brand new harmonica skills this morning.
Brand new harmonica, like brand
Brand
new as
new.
of this morning.
Last weekend, I bought him a $5 harmonica, and today he played Mary Had a Little Lamb. Flawless.
Perfect. Nailed it. That's
Yep.
awesome, man. Hey, I'm always interested when young people want to do music because that's my jam, as you can
Yeah, same.
see. Yeah. So, guess what, Billy? The Inkshares campaign has reached an end.
It has
Um,
concluded.
it has concluded. So I'm going to pop that up on the screen, and I'm going to jump over there so I can kind of navigate. First and foremost, we want to say thank you so very much for the support that you guys have given us. It means the world. Like I wish I had better words for it, and I'll look up some synonyms later after the show. But um, uh, really, seriously, appreciate all the support that you've given for the anthology, and the campaign. We didn't quite reach where we wanted to reach, but that's all right.
Mhm.
I wanted to bring this up because I actually wanted to show you guys that everything is still here. If you want to go through and look at any of this stuff, it all still exists, and including all of the previous episodes to Live from the Kingdom. You can go back all the way to, what does this say? March 11th. You can go all the way back to March 11th, where we did the launch party. You can watch all of that.
My God.
It exists. I know we've been
Is that
doing
how
this
long
for,
we've been doing this?
yeah, 3 months, man. 3 months to the day. It
Oh,
also
man.
has all of the stories, the log lines, and we're going to do a little bit later. It has pictures of us. We're going to do a little bit later, go through those log lines again so you guys know what this book is all about. Billy, did you have anything that you wanted to specifically say about anything
No, I
about
just
this?
want to echo the sentiments of, thank you very much, because when we started this, we were not sure how it was going to go or how it was going to be received. And I can tell you that right from the start, we got nothing but excitement and enthusiasm from not just the people involved in the book, but everyone who heard about the book. Every
Yep.
podcast we went on, everyone, had such great things to say, and everyone was really excited about the crew that we put together. And you and I have been so positive and so excited about this thing the whole time, even towards the end of the campaign, when we kind of realized, like, all right, we're not going to hit our goal, but
Right.
we've stayed positive the whole time. And even now, I still have that. I'm still riding that high of knowing how cool the book is and how great these stories are, and how we're working with such a talented group of people. So yeah, I have not. The campaign is done. And I feel like so much of what we were doing was really getting attention on the book and getting a community of people involved in supporting it. And
Yeah.
that I feel like we've done. So yeah, a huge thank you to everyone that's watching us on all of these, who's like commenting on things, who's sharing our posts. It's been really great. It's going to continue to be great.
It is. Karen, who is here almost every week, thank you, first and
Yes,
foremost.
Karen.
But you say 3 months went by quick. You're telling us like it's flown by. It doesn't feel like it's been 3 months already, but it has. And one thing that we wanted to take a moment and point out, we have heard from the people from Inkshares, and they said generally refunds. Yes, you will get your money back if you pre-ordered, because we didn't hit that threshold, right? Refunds are generally issued in about 30 days or so. Okay. So unless we hear something else, then you should be looking for a refund in about a month or so. All right. So Billy, last week we had some fun. If you did not, oh wait, I actually forgot. You mentioned something and it popped into my brain. You said, where is it? There it is. You said specifically about the podcast that we were on. If you haven't seen or heard those, they are also here on this Inkshares page. So these links will take you right to the podcast that we were a part of. Go listen to those, support those podcasts because they're awesome. They brought on,
they're all really good.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun, and they have great channels. And if you haven't heard of them, go check them out because they are fantastic. And we appreciate them for letting us come on and ramble and mumble about an anthology that we're working on. So go check them out. If you haven't watched last week's episode, the 1 hour special, please go watch that because it was a lot of fun. We played a game after about 20, 30 minutes of talking about the book and doing some stuff. We played a game and we had a great time. And if you missed that, go check it out. It was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah, it was. It was great. So let's talk, Billy. Let's talk about the last 3 months just briefly. Pardon me. I think that we really knocked it out of the park. Like, even though we didn't reach the 750, I think that just getting the word of mouth out there and having people talk about the book and come on board and just getting the word out about the amazing talent that is in this book. Doing this show with you has been super fun over the last 3 months. And bringing on the guest authors and being able to pick their brains a little bit about their stories and their experience in life was just awesome. And I think that it was really a great experience, and I'm happy that we got to do it. Hey, Debbie.
Hi. Yeah, man. I again, I'll echo your exact sentiments because, it's a lot of work to do these things, and you are the one that is doing the heavy lifting, and everyone should know that.
Thank you.
But it's been really fun, and I've looked forward to it every week. And with books, it can be such an isolating process,
right.
because with both of the books that I put out, those don't get done unless I kind of close out the world for a little bit and focus. And with this book, while I sort of do have to close myself off to write the stories that I contributed, it's been a really great way to have a collaborative effort towards something bigger. And like it's books made almost like a movie, it feels like, because we have a lot of people involved. And when I think about this project and this book and these stories, it is a big group of people that are all contributing to it. So it's been really interesting to immerse ourselves so deeply in this book in this way, and to be able to talk about them, to release them a little bit one by one and give everyone their focus and give every story a moment and unveil the whole book this way, piece by piece. It's been really fun and really interesting, and a rarity. I don't think I've ever done anything like this in my entire writing career. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Hey, and you know what? That's a perfect segue. We're actually going to go back to the stories so you can see what Keys to the Kingdom, what stories are in Keys to the Kingdom. If you've missed any, or if you just want to review, or just see it for the first time, really, as a whole, because we haven't went through every single story yet. So the first time as a whole. So we're going to just pop back and forth. Billy, I'm going to let you go first because I got to drive over here. Okay.
Okay, let's do it. All right. So the first one up, Julia Marquesi. The Lime Acid Lovers. In 1986, at the King of Prussia Mall, a psychedelic drifter falls for a punk rock occultist who pulls him into a neon-lit fever dream of backroom sex, high-stakes theft, mind-bending pharmacosmicals, and unfathomable dark powers. That is a mouthful. Woo!
It
I've
is.
heard it read a bunch of times. Man, that's
And
a mouthful.
the funny thing was when we had Julie on right before the show, in the pre-show stuff before we went live, I was like, pharmacosmicals, is that how you say that? And she's like, yep, I made that up. And I'm like, great, I love it. Let's roll with it. So yeah, that's a really fun story. And Billy and I have been, we've been in the editing phase, and I'm ready to like dive back into that one because she's sent us some we've sent her feedback and she sent us some changes. So I'm ready to jump in. And up next is actually my story. So I'll read this one. Red Eye by me. On a turbulent red-eye flight, an exhausted traveler battling jet lag and the lingering haze of a Vegas weekend struggles to keep his grip on reality when he begins seeing strange shapes in the shadows. Oh, in the cabin's shadows. I can't even read my own thing. That was a fun one to write, and I'm really excited for people to read it. And you can read a sample. It's still up on the Inkshares page if you'd like. Next up.
Mr. James B. Cox, Hope's Howl. Pat Reagan, a ski patroller at a mom-and-pop mountain resort in the midst of a corporate takeover, answers a search and rescue call that brings him face-to-face with death and a local legend. Yeah,
that's a cool one too. I don't want to give anything away, but the same idea with Julia is like he's got his notes from us, and he's doing some edits, and he's working through it. I'm ready to get it back. It's a really fun story.
That's a fun little, like, almost like a little Twilight Zone episode kind of a story.
Yeah, it's fun. Next up, we've got Sean Lilos with This Is Hell. When Jake, who he claims that he changed the name on, so maybe not Jake anymore, but we haven't seen the next draft yet. When Jake survives a near-death experience, he believes he has a second chance at life. However, something evil from the other side returns with him. Good story. A lot of fun. It was cool going through that one and making notes on that one because there was a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, it's really rich with some character, some tragedy in there. Like that's a heavy story, but it was a really good read. And then, all right, my turn. Rosalind Lake by Bolin Miller. Two teen siblings search for their mother's killer in a small town near the Gifford Pinchot Forest.
Yeah, so you know what this one felt like to me when I was reading it? Little spoilers for those watching. This one felt a little bit, and I left this in one of the notes. This one felt like, what was it called? I Know What You Did Last Summer. It felt like that to me a little bit.
I see that. Yeah,
a little bit.
This one has some Bolin's got some great imagery in this one. Yeah. Like this one, I think this is one of the stories that really, when I first think of the book, this is one of the stories that pops into my head right away because of the stark, terrifying imagery he's got in this one. Yeah. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to say any more, but yeah, really nice little story.
Yeah, cool. Next, we got Mondo Franco with the story Copy. In this twisted noir, a late-night fare pulls a taxi driver into a web of violence and deception where he must survive the longest night of his life. I like the structure's not right. The structure is the only word I can come up with right now. The structure, which is not what I'm trying to say. I like that he wrote this one in first person present.
Yeah,
I think that's really cool. Which
makes it very immediate. Yeah, it makes it very immediate and suspenseful, and it's a fun little bite-sized mystery, and it's a solid read.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's a great little read. Up next, we've got.
Well, oh yeah, sorry me. I don't know how I'm losing track of like whose turn it is. There's two of us. So this is Wendy by D.F. Jester. When a female hitchhiker is picked up on a lonely stretch of road at night, she and the driver discover what each hungers for. Yeah, and that's a lovely little log line.
Yeah, it's a cool story too. I like the it's got that angle like when I don't know if you remember that. You probably remember this. Like there was a time when horror movies were all about like hitchhiking and how
Yeah.
you know you didn't want to ever be a hitchhiker. I remember being young going, I will never hitchhike because anybody who ever gets out there is murdered, you know, or whatever.
You will be murdered if you
You
hitchhike,
will
correct?
be murdered, right? That's kind of what it was like when I was a kid. But this is a cool little story. It's got a nice little setup. I really enjoyed this
Yeah,
one.
this is another one where you kind of don't. You think you might think you know where it's going, and you don't.
Mhm. You
And
do not.
again, whoop, I will not say any more than that.
All right. This one is my turn. Somehow now I'm lost too.
Yeah.
All right. This is Miss the Mark by Chris Etheridge. An angry puzzle maker sets up a bloody Rube Goldberg machine for his victim, but things go disastrously wrong. This is a fun one, actually. I when I was
Yeah.
reading this one, I was having a good time. I was like, this is great. This is fun. I was enjoying it.
Yeah.
So, you know, part of the vision of this book is to potentially be able to carry on the legacy of the Dollar Babies, right? And
Mhm.
all I could do the whole time I was reading this is I could see it in my head. I was like, man, I want to
Yeah.
make this short film. You know what I mean? It was a good one.
Yeah. You put a Rube Goldberg machine in a horror movie, done.
Exactly.
Done. It's gonna be
Exactly.
cool.
It is. All right. Next up, let's see.
All right. Terminal Degree by Dr. Robert Cochran. A failed athlete turned PhD student faces a sinister choice when a mysterious figure offers him success at a devastating cost.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
know what's interesting? Sorry, you go first. Sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say it's sort of a take on a classic tale, you know, deal with the devil kind of situation, but it's such a specific world and like the PhD, former athlete turned PhD, and this is another story that's really rich with character. He's got some really beautifully drawn characters in this thing.
And yeah, and well written. I like it's really
Yeah,
well written.
absolutely. Yeah.
You know, he actually just pinged us. I think it was yesterday or the day
I
before.
saw, yeah.
Yesterday or the day before. And so we've got the next draft waiting on us as soon as we can get in there
Mhm.
and get to it. So I'm excited to dive in and see what changes he made because we made, we go through all of these and we're, as the editors of the anthology, we are putting in a lot of time and work behind the scenes, not
Mhm.
just for this show, but also to get the stories, go through the stories and give it that that fresh set of eyes on it,
Yeah.
and make some suggestions. So I'm always interested to see where we're going. And next up, is it my turn? It is my turn.
It is your turn. Yep. Oh,
This
maybe it should be my turn.
okay, please.
Yeah. I'll take this one.
Please, by all
So
means.
this is life sentence by yours truly. 2 prison guards are assigned to oversee a top secret inmate in an isolated cell, but their resolve is tested when they discover the prisoner was arrested centuries ago and simply will not die.
This is the only one, Billy, that we're going to have to cut. I just can't.
Lose it. You know what? No argument for me. No.
I'm just kidding. This is a
This
great
one,
story, and I really want to spoil it, but I'm not. One thing that I love about it is, oh man, I don't know if I can. No, I guess I can't say that either. Um, it is a unique look at something that you may be familiar with. That's the most general way I can
yeah.
say it.
Yeah, I know what you're getting at, and that is correct. Yeah, this was a fun story to write because it's a twist on a couple of different things, and it's a story I've had in my back pocket for a long time, and I just had no reason to write it yet, you know. And when when you approached me about this book, I went, I know what story I'm putting in there first. I know which one is going in there because I had it. It was just simmering in here. And as soon as I sat down to write it, I said, yes, this is the perfect thing for this book. It was the right length. It was the right tone. And yeah, I'm excited for people to read this. And this sample also still available on Inkshares right now. So if you
That's
want to
right.
get started on this story, you can read the first big chunk of it.
Yep. And it's great. So no spoilers
Thank
for
you.
me. But if you go and read it, you will probably understand that generalization that I just made.
Yeah, you'll know more about what we're talking about.
Yeah. So up next, we've got Stephen Tramontana's The One That Haunts You. A hitman's planned retirement hits a snag. when a job gone wrong catches up to him. And this is a great one too. I just finished. In fact, I just finished my notes on it yesterday, and you finished yours a few days ago, or over the
Yeah,
weekend or
yeah.
something. I don't know, last week.
hmm
But I just finished mine, and we sent it back to him. So I'm excited to see what he thinks about the notes. It's a great
Yeah.
story.
I really loved reading this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is absolutely in line with the rest of the book, but it's also a bit of a departure from the rest of them. It's going to stand out a lot from them because just because of the style of his writing, which is fantastic. And, his voice is really unique. Everyone has got a pretty unique voice in here.
Mm-hmm.
But his skews a certain direction. And I think it's going to really stand out in the book.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, it's a standout. It's a standout voice, character voice, I would say. It really is. I had a lot of, like all of these, I had a whole lot of fun reading this one. And you kind of are sort of thrust into this world, and it feels very inviting and natural, though. You know what I mean?
100%.
So I really enjoyed this one. Up next. That's you.
There you want to do this one, or you want me to do it?
I did my other one. You can do this.
Okay, I got yours now. All right, Stonewall Road by the Paul Inman.
I didn't put the on the graphic. Sorry.
After a fight with his wife, a man takes a rainy drive to clear his head. But when his GPS leads him into the wilderness, he finds himself in a deadly situation that forces him to face the fallout of their troubled marriage.
Yeah, man. So, what's interesting is I adapted this from, I wrote it as a short story, and then I adapted it into a short film, and then I wrote a new ending for this book. So it has changed a lot. Not that necessarily the other ending wasn't good or right. I just felt like, hey, I feel like I need to add a little more to this. Because when I went back and read it, now, I mean, I wrote it a few years ago. So Red Eye, by the way, is the one that is the most new story that is for the book, But this one I wrote a few years ago. And when Billy and I decided, hey, we wanted to add a couple more stories in there, I went and looked at my very limited catalog because I don't have a whole lot, you know what I mean? Less than 10 probably. And I was like, I like this one for the anthology, and let's go with it. So I wrote a new ending was my point. So hopefully people like it. Next up, my turn.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got.
Oh, look at that. We're just trading now.
It worked. We've got Powder Blue by the caffeinated Billy Hanson. I would bet that I'd be willing to, even though I've read the story and I know, but I would be willing to bet that your stressed out mother here is caffeinated as well.
I think that's a safe bet. Yes.
I think it's a safe bet. A stressed out mother struggles to control her road rage during the chaotic elementary school drop-offs and focuses her anxieties on a beautiful blue Porsche that keeps taking the best parking spot. This is a great little story too. I really enjoyed this one.
So I have something to share with this one. So please. This is, let's say, loosely based on real life, because every day there's a car that I see on my way to drop off my kid at elementary school, and it is a beautiful blue Porsche. And I took a picture this morning, and I would like to show you my mortal enemy. I don't know if you can see, no license plate in there. Don't worry. But the picture I took this morning of my, oh, come on. There we go. There it is. The actual powder blue Porsche.
That's great. Wait. Do it again. Do it again. Sorry, I wasn't thinking that I could control this. Oh, no, that's bad. Let me go over here. All right, there we go.
Now we're talking.
There we go.
There we go.
That's it.
Now, in reality, I have met that driver. He's a lovely man. Awesome. But yeah, this story was one that, again, it was sort of kicking around my head a little bit. And when we were going to double down and we were going to contribute more to the book, I said, all right, I think I'm going to do this one because this one is pretty different from Life Sentence. So it'll be a standout for me, alone. It's not going to be just two of the same kind of story. And I approached this one with a lot more humor and mania than I think I usually do.
It was fun. Fun read.
Yeah, it's another quick little bite-sized horror, different kind of horror.
Yeah.
But it was really fun to write, honestly. It was really fun to sort of let loose on those ideas and let my brain unravel in a way.
You don't usually think of elementary school drop-offs as being horror, but I mean, sometimes they are. And if you have ever had a child, you probably know that they are, So
it's a specific kind of hell.
It is. It is. All right. Next up, we have this one is you, Billy.
Oh, me, yeah. Sand Fleas by Jennifer Trudrung. Again, I'm not sure what her last name, how you pronounce her last name exactly. Trudrung, I believe.
Maybe. I'm sorry.
She's
Jennifer.
Great. You should look her up. You should look her up in general because she's got a pretty storied career. And speaking of stories, her story, Sand Fleas. A young girl digs up a disturbing revelation on a fishing trip with her dad. Again, another super simple log line.
Yeah.
But some terrific imagery and really effective. Yeah.
And we talked about this. We just introduced this next group basically in the last week or two, right? Last week I mentioned this was the first one I think that was submitted when we first told the authors, hey, you've got this amount of time to write something if you want to write from scratch. And Jennifer was the first submission here with Sand Fleas. And like I said last week, this one, when I read it, I was like, okay, this is going to work. This is going to work. I don't want to. It's hard to talk about.
I know this is a short one too because it's such a small story. Like it's hard to say any part of it without kind of spoiling what it is.
Yeah, hard to talk around.
I will say this is another one that's a little bit like a Twilight Zone episode.
Yes, that's a great way to say it. And she writes with such great imagery, which I think you mentioned a minute ago. Yeah. And this is a really, sort of a beautiful kind of terrifying kind of beautiful. It sort of straddles this line between scary and beautiful. I think she did an excellent job, and I'm excited for people to read it. Let's move to the next one here. Let's see. Whoops, I'm moving things around accidentally. There we go. So this one is me, James Renner. What Chris remembers. Chris has just transferred to a prestigious boarding school where students trade something more frightening than Pokemon cards. This story, it kind of came out of we got it second, and it came out of the gate like swinging. And it is very different from the other stories, I think. Like, not in a bad way. Like, it's unique in a good way. Sort of like we were saying about Steven's story. It's just different, and you're just like, wow, this is so. We got such a cool eclectic showing here. You know what I mean? And it's this one is again probably another of the sort of bite-sized kind of story. So I'm kind of trying to talk around without giving anything away. The log line says a whole lot, actually. So
it says more than you think it does.
Yeah, it does, and it's very well written. And, we were happy that James wanted to contribute. In fact, we actually had some options. He said, I got a few things written, and he sent us a couple. And we were like, I think this one feels good for the anthology. Yeah. So,
and James is a terrific writer. He's also a great true crime writer. Look up his stuff. He's got a lot of stuff out there right now. Lots of published works, and I think he had a book come out. I think it was last year, or maybe even more recently.
No, it's this year. It was like April or something.
It was pretty recently, right? Okay.
Something about Boy Scout camp or something like that.
Time means nothing to me anymore. So it was earlier than this week, so it feels like a long time ago. But look up his stuff for sure. He's a pretty fantastic writer, and he does a lot of stuff with true crime. We were really thrilled to have him involved in this book.
And I saw on social media that he was in the UK, I guess, last week, and he's doing another signing in Ohio this week, in the next few days. I'm not sure. Check out, look for him online. You can find his social media. So that's a fantastic story. We are super, super excited to have that. And next up,
Nap. Nap by Jackie Perez. When a sleep deprived young woman chases viral fame, her waking nightmares bleed into reality when an ancient entity latches onto her fragile mind, refusing to let her go.
Now, when Jackie was on her episode a few weeks ago, I mentioned that this is the kind of stuff I love. I love this kind
Yeah.
of stuff, like these like really like um well, without giving things away. This is tough for me, man. I'm really struggling.
I
But
know.
sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna agree with you. It's really hard to like because we both know all the stories really, really well, and so we're trying to sell them to people and say like you're gonna love this. Trust us.
Right,
We can't
but I
give the
also
good
want to be.
details yet.
Yeah, I want to give all these details.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I was saying is this kind of story is right up my personal alley. So when she first was like, "Oh, here's what I think my idea is going to be," I was super excited about it, and we actually, I called. Well, she called me, and we talked on the phone about it for like an hour, and it was awesome.
Nice.
Because she was really excited about the idea and really was like, I guess nervous is not quite right, but a little bit apprehensive because she didn't want to overlap with any of the other stories. And it was just really sweet. And she was on the game last week. If you
Mhm.
want to come or if you want to go watch last week's episode, we had a great time. I'm never going to
Yeah,
stop talking about that because it was a lot of fun. So,
that was a really
um,
good time. And
I
also,
mean,
just one more thing about her story that I
yeah,
really like is pairing the ancient entities with modern technology. Like that's such a cool idea,
it
and
is.
I think anything that we can sort of pair something modern with something ancient to remind us that we still live in that same world. I think that's very, very cool. And yeah,
Yeah.
the way she does it's very effective.
Yeah. It's great. Moving right along here, we have
Mhm.
Rodney Altman with 3 nights. After
Woo.
losing her family in a car crash, a woman makes a deal to bring them back in exchange for spending 3 nights in the afterlife. This is a cool one too, and we sort of just finished our notes in the last week or two on
Yeah.
this one too. I really enjoyed this story a lot, and Rodney did a great job. He's a great writer, just like all of these people. And I definitely read it wrong and called Billy, and I was like, Billy, what the hell am I doing? Why don't I understand this? And you're like, what's wrong with you? And then when I went back and read it again, I was like, oh, I'm just a dumbass because I misread one sentence and it threw my whole like mind into a tailspin, you know? So
You know, to be fair, we've been reading a lot the
yes,
last couple of months, so I feel like that's fair. That's fair. It was really funny though when you called me, because when I read this story, I went, "That's in such good shape. He's got such a clear vision for what's going on, and his
I
writing
think
is really
totally
great.
does.
The characters are great." And then you called me and said, "Like I don't know. I'm confused about this." And he's like, "Oh, that's strange. It's funny how stories hit us differently." And then you texted me shortly after, you're like, "Never mind. Read it again. It's great."
Yeah, I just
And
misread
that's
a
just how it
section.
happens sometimes.
I misunderstood something, I guess. It happens to everybody. And I was like, when I went back, I was like, nope, I was just being dumb and I misread and misunderstood. And it is great. And it's a great story. I can't
Yeah.
wait to share this and all of them with you. Last one
Yeah.
here, Billy.
All right. This is the last one.
This is the last one.
Wow. All right. Well, 132 Hours by Jay Holben. When a brilliant surgeon succumbs to the darker side of his God complex, it results in 5.5 days of methodical and heinous torture on the verge of pure madness.
So we talked about Jay last week, and he's in the middle of releasing a book about directing, which is 600 pages long.
Mm.
So I say that I preface with that because Jay messaged us and said, "Hey, listen, I'm not going to hit the deadline because I've got this other thing that is happening, and I got to make sure that happens too." And we
Yeah.
were like, "Yeah, cool. We've got time to play with, so don't stress. Make sure you get your 600-page book in shape to where it needs to be." Um, and I say that to say I just dove in and started making some notes on this in the last few days, and I am really sort of blown away by all of the talent. Every time we started a new story, I'm like, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, this is going to work. And Jay is no different. Jay is fantastic writer, as well as all of these other amazing people. Very talented individuals. I like this story a lot. The story gets kind of dark though. So for those of you that like it dark, this one will do it for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah, and if the log line tells you anything, it does that. Like it's a dark story, but it's so great because if we have sort of a whole spectrum from dark to light, and
Yeah.
it's got everything in between.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, just having Jay involved, another terrific author who like no hesitation about jumping on board with the project. So we're really lucky to have him. I mean, he's such a talented writer and filmmaker, and
Yeah.
somebody who I've
Cinematographer.
known sort of in passing for a very long time. We screened his adaptation of Paranoia, his Dollar Baby adaptation of Paranoia, back in 2013, and since then we've been sort of Facebook contacts, and it's so cool to be able to go back into these older relationships, and people are still wanting to work together and do great things. So it's been
Yeah.
exciting, and having Jay on board has been really cool.
Absolutely. And that is all of the stories. We just showed them for the first time. All in, Billy.
Yeah, it's exciting that everyone kind of knows what the book is now. Like
Yeah.
for so long we were holding on to what the entirety of the book is because we were the only ones that knew. But that's why I talk about it. Like it was awesome to be able to dole these out one by one and slowly share it with everybody.
Yep.
And now you all just need to read the stories. That's the next step.
Right. And, how is the question? And the answer is
Yes.
right now, we don't have an easy answer to that question. We
Yeah.
definitely have in our back pocket, we can self publish at some point if we decide to go that route. But I don't know that will be what we want to do unless we have to.
Yeah.
I'm dancing around a little bit. There's things that we can't talk about, so let's just leave it.
Yeah.
At
I'll say this. Yeah. I'll say this. The book is going to come out. Like that's not even a question. There's too much great stuff in there for us to just let it fall to the wayside. So
no.
even though the Inkshares campaign did not work out, that was one of a couple of different avenues that not only do we have them in mind, they're at a point where they're possible because Paul and I are working a lot behind the scenes. We're paving the way forward for the book. So hopefully we'll have some fun news to share with everybody down the line, and we'll have some more clarity with which direction the book is going to go. But everyone rest assured, the book is going to come out in some way, shape, or form, and it will be great. Like no matter what, it'll be great.
Yeah, no matter what, it'll be great. The stories in it are all fantastic, and all of the authors are working with us to make sure that we polish them up if they even need it, because a lot of them are already really good. Just to make sure that we're putting out the most high quality and best stories that represent these talented people that we can. And Billy's right; the book is going to be out. When? That's an answer we don't have. Where? That's also an answer we don't have. Like, we're working, as Billy mentioned, we're working behind the scenes. So, if you want to, we're getting a little long in the tooth here, Billy. But it's the last episode, and we appreciate
The finale.
everybody being here. The finale.
Yeah. The finale. One of us has to get killed off.
Exactly. And then they have to come back in the next season, right?
Exactly.
If you want to follow Billy on social media, it's atta.boy.billy. Or you follow me at Paul Inman SC. You can also go to Billy. I don't know if you have a website. I never even asked to put it up here. I have no idea.
I actually don't have a personal website. I have one for my production company, but I haven't put anything for this on there yet. So
no worries.
That's probably not the best place to follow. But yeah, I think if you follow on social media, like we'll be keeping things updated. Any kind of updates, we'll keep putting them up there. That'll be where to track us. Facebook, Instagram, you can find me on both of those.
Oh, I'm glad you said that actually, because you can go to facebook.com/keys to the kingdom 2025 to follow, and we will definitely try to post updates there whenever we have them. All of the story log lines, all the stuff that we've seen is already there. And you, as I mentioned already a minute ago, you can still, I'm really zoomed in, but you can still go to Inkshares, the page, excuse me, the page is live. I'm like a 12-year-old again with all the voice. The page is live. You can still go and check that out and read through all that and read about all the amazing, talented authors in the read section over there. And you know, I don't know, Billy. Just wrapping it up here, man.
Yeah.
I will say this. This is the finale, but we might someday come back and see you all. We appreciate everything that you have done, all the support for the book and for the individual authors and for us. And thank you so much for hanging out with us every Wednesday for the last 3 months. Before we roll out, Billy, do you got anything you want to add?
I don't think so. I think, just one more big thank you to everybody, because, it's hard to show when we didn't make the 750 pre-sales, but there was such a tremendous swell of support right from the get-go in the beginning. And we were shocked in the beginning. I remember we had a bunch of conversations where we said, oh, wow, this is more than we anticipated right up front. And campaign, it didn't get there, but I'll say this, it got some attention. And I think important. I would love to leave everybody on that note, that, you and I remain optimistic about everything, and we should. Reach out when you know more. Yeah. So we'll keep everybody updated on anything that's going on. But be on the lookout for updates.
And thanks, Karen, and everyone who comes and watches the show or watches after when it's not live, because we do get a lot of plays on the a lot of replays on the recordings as well. We appreciate you, and thank you. And for Billy Hanson, my name is Paul Inman, and I still don't know how to drive this thing. All right, we will talk to you really soon. Thanks.
All right, thanks, guys.